All right. So before I start speaking anything, we'll do some invocation mantras. You can chant along with me. Maybe we can do them together. We can include the harmonium. Actually, you know all these, but maybe if you don't, someone can scroll here. Maybe Tanu, you can scroll and I'll share them on the screen if anyone is watching on YouTube.
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकरामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवा श्रीराधा कृष्णप्रदान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
All right. We'll do a bonus little bhajan here. Bhaktya vihina parada lakshay shiptascha kamadi taranga madhye kripa maitvang sharanam prapanna vinde namaste charanada vindam Govinda Damodara Madhavedi Govinda Damodara Madhavedi Govinda Damodara Madhavedi Govinda Damodara Madhavedi Hey Krishna Hey Yadava Hey Saketi Govinda Damodara Madhavedi. So I will first of all offer my obeisances to my spiritual master, both my Diksha spiritual master and my Shiksha spiritual masters who have been helping me. I will offer my obeisances to all of the Vaishnavas present here, past, present, and future, but especially the present ones with us here, and our whole Gaudiya Guru Parampara. We are asking for their blessings. We are going to be discussing a few things. One, if I could have that bhajan book and we can have that Nitai Parakamala, because I want to every day just read through what the bhajan means that we sing every day so we have an idea of what we're doing here. And then two, we're going to study Srimad Bhagavatam. So, it's saying Nitai Parakamala, the lotus feet of Nitai, Koti Chandra Sushitala, are as cooling as millions of moons. Jai Chayai Jagat Judai. And I think that means their shade gives solace to the entire universe. Heno Nitai Bine Bai, without a personality such as Nitai, O brother. Radha Krishna Paite Nai, it is not possible to attain Radha and Krishna. Dridha Kori Daro Nitar Paya, so firmly take hold of his lotus feet. This is talking about the great personality, Nityananda Prabhu, who is actually an avatar of the Lord, but he is an avatar of the Lord who's come to give full mercy. And his, he is most merciful. You don't need to have any qualification. Abhiram, what are you doing, buddy? Yeah, so you can let him come here for some time. So I'm not going to drink anything. I hope you please don't take offense. So if anyone wants this, it's okay. No, don't worry. I appreciate it so much. But I'm also worried because Abhiram will come and seize that. Nityananda Prabhu is the most merciful incarnation of the Lord, actually. And he's come here to, freely distribute Krishna Prem without any qualification at all. So if we don't get his mercy, if we don't, all we have to do is just have some appreciation towards him. And if we don't get his mercy, it's saying here, it is not possible to attain Radha and Krishna. So, actually, Radha and Krishna, they came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to reveal how to distribute themselves. And Nityananda Prabhu, he is the, you could say, the vessel in which their mercy is going to be distributed, Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So Lord Chaitanya, we should know, is Radha and Krishna in the deepest embrace, coming in the Kali Yuga. They have their own internal purposes, but for externally, one of the purposes is to help us. And it's very relevant to us, it's so merciful to us. So Nityananda, he is the personality, he's like the first line, the first troop to come out and reach the people. So he's like our lifeline. He's empowering, our first lifeline is the Vaishnavas. And then the Vaishnavas will connect us to Guru, Guru is the representative of Nityananda Prabhu. So Guru has Nityananda Shakti. And he's teaching us how to serve Lord Chaitanya and prepare to worship Radha and Krishna, because it's a very confidential and high thing. But they are going to take away all of our disqualification, and there's plenty of why we're not eligible to get such a high thing. But they will take that away and slowly prepare us. So, say sambandha nahi jar, if someone does not establish a relationship with Nityananda Prabhu, Brita Janma Gelo Tara, his human birth is wasted. So that's nice. You don't want your human birth to be wasted. So you develop a relationship with Nityananda Prabhu, and the best way to do that is develop a relationship with Guru. You should have Guru in your life. If you don't have Guru in your life, you should feel in your heart this is a disaster. And you should have no other thirst, even no other thirst for a job, no other thirst for a marriage, no other thirst for money, anything. This should be the first thirst. And if this thirst isn't here, then there's an obstacle of ignorance that has to be overcome in the consciousness. So Guru is so important. Where if we don't attain this, the whole life is wasted actually. The whole life is wasted. No matter what job you get, no matter what marriage you get, no matter what children you get, the whole life is wasted if the relationship with Guru isn't established. This is the point of human life. There's a verse I could share, but for the sake of time, and I want to study Bhagavatam, we'll go on. Nite na se pashu bado durachara. Such an animalistic person is very wicked. So if someone does not develop a taste for trying to find Guru and reach spiritual perfection, they're really no better than the animal. And actually, indeed, they will become an animal. That's why, we get an opportunity in the human form, but it's anitya, it's temporary. And if we don't, I'll share the verse because it's so relevant. There's a verse Krishna shares in Uddhav Gita in Bhagavatam that goes, Labdva sudurlabha idam bahusam bhavante. I know this verse because I remembered it the day Aviram was born. Yes, my wife was in labor and I was memorizing this verse, and she was very upset with me that I was spending so much time on these things. But here's the fruit. Labdva sudurlamamidam bahusambhavante manusyamartadamanitya api hadiraha tornam yateta anumrit na tornam yateta napated anumrityu yavan yishrayasaya vishaya kalasarvatasya. So basically, that you have attained this very rare and valuable human life, and it's extremely valuable, but it's temporary. And so once you understand the value of your human life, you should immediately endeavor, not falling, as long as you don't fall down dead, you should immediately endeavor for Nishrayasaya, the ultimate perfection. How is this done? Through the mercy of Guru, the Guru needs. So you should search out a Guru who can teach you Nishrayasaya, ultimate perfection. Vishaya, meaning having a nice money, career, having a nice relationship, children, all sense gratification. This is available in any species of life. So these things are all, you can get this as a rodent, you can get this as a cow, you can get this as an insect. Insects, they mate. Insects, they have a defending, they have some career, they gather resources so they can set up their den and all these things. So if we spend all of our energy doing these things, we're wasting the life, actually. We're wasting. So please don't waste your life. That's my whole job of arranging this whole ashram, and everything to do with the ashram is so that I don't, and the people I come in contact with, we don't waste our lives. If we waste our life, then down we go. Samsara, we don't know when we'll get this opportunity again. It's a very rare opportunity. So do not waste it. The good news is it's almost entirely, it will not be wasted if you come in contact with devotees and you're sincere. But there are many people who come in contact with devotees, they're not sincere, and then down they'll eventually go. But if you have a little bit of sincerity, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, even a little advancement on this path will deliver one from the greatest fear. And the greatest fear is going into the lower species of life where you have no chance at spiritual knowledge again. So good chance at least you'll get another human form of life with the advancement you've already made. But if with enough offenses, there's no limit to how low we can go. So Nitai na bolilo muke, not uttering the name of Nitai with his lips, majilo samsara suke, he drowns himself in the so-called happiness of the material world, samsara suke. Vidya kule ki koribe tada. What then can his education and pedigree do for him? So if you actually go down into all of these materialistic pleasures, it doesn't matter what education and pedigree, whatever material qualification you amass, you're finished. The life will be wasted. So ahankare mata hoya nitai, maddened by false pride, nitai pada pasariya, and forgetting Nitai's lotus feet, asatyare satya kori mani. One considers illusion to be truth. So you'll consider, we'll consider career, we'll consider marriage, we'll consider, children and wife and all the material, good food and this, that. We'll consider this to be the truth. This is what is worth pursuing, and then we'll neglect the actual thing worth pursuing. So Nitayer Karuna Habe, if Nitai is merciful, Vraje Radha Krishna Pabe, one can attain Radha and Krishna in Vraj. Daro Niter Charana Dukani. So firmly take hold of Nitai's two lotus feet. And remember, how do you do that? That's the Nityananda Shakti is present in Guru. So this is the one who's reaching out. Nityananda reaches out into the masses of people, and he disturbs them from their material slumber, and he says, please, Bhajo Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. Worship Krishna, chant Krishna's name, follow his instructions. And the sleeping, angry people, they're, no, leave me alone, I want to sleep more. And then, no, please, brother, wake up, please wake up. So this is what has to happen. So take hold of those feet once you've woken up a little bit, and we're all coming out of our dreaming state. So take hold of these feet, and how you find a guru. You must. find a guru. And even if you have a guru, diksha, it's not finished there. You need to get potent shiksha, either from him or finding shiksha in your life. This is the most important, actually. We're about to discuss the Bhagavatam, and we're going to see the setup for shiksha. Now, Nitaya Charana Satya, Tahara Sevaka, Nitaya Charana Satya, the lotus feet of Nitai are eternal truth. Tahara Sevaka Nitya, and his servitors are eternally liberated. Can you be a little more quiet, Abhiram? Hello, good morning. So, we're just doing our morning program. No, you're not disturbing. This is your house too. So he's saying the lotus feet of Nitai are eternal truth, Tahara Sevaka Nitya, and his servitors are eternally liberated. So you won't have to worry about liberation if you take the feet of Nitai and take the feet of Guru as your truth. Nitai Padasada Karo Asha. Always aspire to attain the lotus feet of Nitai. Narottama Bado Duki. Narottam is very unhappy. Nitai More Karusuke. Oh Nitai, please make me happy by keeping me close. Rako Ranga Charanera Pasha, to the reddish soles of your lotus feet. So, we need Guru. This is Nityananda Shakti, and we can worship. We have Nitai here. He came on his birthday this year in the temple. So, yes, take this very seriously. This Nityananda, and how will this Nityananda reach your life? Through the Guru. And not just a Diksha Guru, he'll come to you through the Vartma Pradarshika Guru, someone who's showing you the way. Every one of you and myself can be a Vartma Pradarshika Guru. And then also a Shiksha Guru, a more advanced devotee who is potent and can give Shiksha. Now Divyanshu, he asked a nice question that I'll answer, address before we read Bhagavatam. And that question is, who is a pure devotee? So there are some qualities of an Uttam Adhikari mentioned in the Bhagavatam. And the Uttam Adhikari, they, we just did this Krishneti Yasya Giritang Manasadriyeta. Were you sitting in class the other night? Yes? Dikshasti Chet Pranata Bischa Bhajanta Misham Shrushaya Bhajana Vigyam Ananyamanya Nindati Shunya Hridamipsita Sangalabdya. So they are bhajana vigyam. They're realized in bhajan. Yeah, so from their guru, they've learned how to properly worship the Lord. Ananya, and purely, all they care about is worship of the Lord. And nindadi ananyam, anya nindadi shunya. They are free from the fault of criticizing others. It's shunya hridam. It's free from their heart. They don't have it. And this is the most desirable. This is one thing. Another thing from that same Upadeshamrita, Vacho vegamana sakroda vegam jiva vegamudara pasta vegam etan veganyo vishaheta diraha sarvam apimam prativim sashishyat. So this is saying, they Vacho vegam, they're urged to speak, they control it. They only speak of these eternal truthful subject matters, Krishna consciousness. Manasa krodha vegam, their mind is only absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Krodha, their anger is only absorbed in Krishna consciousness. It's not that they're never angry, but they're only angry for two reasons. When the Lord is blasphemed, and when the devotees are blasphemed. So like Hanuman, he's a pure devotee, but he was angry that Lord Ram was being blasphemed by Ravana. And Ram's devotees were also, so he would kill and use his anger properly. So jiva, the tongue, the tongue of that person is controlled. Meaning they're not overeating, they're not engaging in atyahara, and they're also not speaking prajalpa, mundane nonsense things. The belly is also, because they're controlling the tongue, their belly is controlled. They're not stuffing their belly, and their life is about stuffing their belly, because there's some form of sense satisfaction in doing that. And udara and apasta is like the genitals. They're not using their genitals for sense gratification. They're not having some sex life. Now a lot of these things are private. So there's some other symptoms as well. And such a person is actually who can tolerate, he's very wise, all these urges, and that person can make disciples all over the world. So he's assumed that such a person is a pure devotee. Now another thing from Uddhav Gita that could be mentioned is what the qualifications of a guru are, because a guru should be a pure devotee. And that guru would have the qualifications, and two things from the Uddhav Gita. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta, so you should surrender unto a guru. Jigasu Shreya Uttamam. If you actually want to know what the Uttama Shreya is, the topmost good in your life is, you'll surrender to a guru. And so what's the qualities of a guru? Shabde pare chanishnatam. The transcendental sounds, the Vedas and their imports and meanings. He's heard those things from his guru. And he's realized in those things that which is heard in a disciplic succession. So he's fully conversant in them. And then Brahman Upashamashraya. He's fully absorbed in Brahman, in pursuing the absolute truth. And Upashamashraya, he's taken shelter of detachment from the material world. He's not taking shelter in anything in the material world. He's only taking shelter in his guru, and he's only taking shelter in his guru, and his guru will deliver him up to the Lord. He's taking shelter of all the processes his guru taught him on understanding the Lord. So this is a pure devotee, and this pure devotee will have no tendency to criticize others, and this pure devotee will also have no tendency to even see any others, unequally. He will not favor others, and you help me all the time, so I like you, but you are not helpful to me ever, so I don't like you as well. He'll always want the best for all beings and see everyone equally, and he'll actually see everyone as a servant of Krishna and offer his obeisances to everyone in the heart and see if he can serve that person, regardless of whether they are favorably inclined towards him or not. So these are some things of a pure devotee. But there's one more thing I could share with you. I'll pull up a verse. I know the verse mostly, but I have forgotten it goes aprakata vastu nahi prakata gochar veda paraneti ei and then something vichar, but I'm gonna share that verse with you because there's a certain subtlety here that you're not gonna understand. Please, everyone, please. So I'll share that verse, and then hopefully that will aprakata vastu. Chaitanya. Okay, let's see. How did I not have the... Did I spell it wrong? All right, I'll have to find it later, but the meaning of the verse is that something of a pure and spiritual substance is not under the jurisdiction of the material senses and mind, which is how we understand the world. So all in the Vedas and the Puranas, this is what they're saying. So we really, we can't actually on our own strength recognize a pure devotee. We have some hints in the Shastra, but actually by our own strength we cannot recognize a pure devotee, and that's purely only by mercy will that realization come to us. So all we can do is be sincere, and in our sincerity Krishna will reveal deeper layers and make us understand the purity of a person. But without that mercy coming to us, we cannot expect on our own strength. Oh, I got all my boxes checked here. No. We have a conditioned nature, and until we realize the limit of our conditioning and that we really only are exclusively dependent on the Lord's mercy, we can't even recognize who's pure and who's not. So that's another aspect here. Yes.
So, like from these all traits that you mentioned, like which one is most prominent, which differentiates between a devotee and a pure devotee?
So the pure devotee, all of the traits are important. Even if you look, there's also 26 qualities of a devotee. So they will be manifest in a devotee. I don't know all of them, but humility and tolerance and pridelessness, offering respect to others, all these things. Our acharyas, they say, the ornaments of a personality are that they're very humble, they're very tolerant, they have no pride, they don't have any false ego, thinking themselves great, and they don't... Are you done? Are we doing this? Okay. They don't think themselves so great, and they're always ready to offer all respect to others and treat people appropriately by proper Vaishnava sadachar mentioned in the Shastras. And then the main quality is Kirtaniya Siddhahari. They're always chanting the holy name of the Lord. So this would be the most prominent. If somebody is always chanting or always glorifying the Lord, always engaged in kirtan, this would be the most prominent thing we can recognize. Yeah, it's also hard to recognize. There's many instances of one personality is coming to mind. My name is Vamshidas Babaji, who was an associate of Bhaktisiddhanta and Gaurakishora Das Babaji, and he looked like a complete madman. And Bhaktisiddhanta told all of his disciples, do not associate with him because you'll make an offense. He's a pure devotee. And sometimes he would even smoke hookah and do things that seemed completely crazy. And he talked to his deities and he appeared like a madman, but he was actually a pure devotee, and all the other pure devotees recognized and knew. So on that level, we can't know. It says, all of the Shastras say that you cannot recognize transcendental substance with our own material vision. So on that level, you can't do it. You can't. We're not empowered with our resources given to conquer the transcendental substance and put it under our jurisdiction. It's not how it works. It's only by mercy, actually. So you just be sincere and you pray to the Lord for interaction with a pure devotee, and then you can and also there's value in understanding that there will be some devotee given to you, and maybe they're not the most pure but they're purer than you, and that has value. And then so you associate with those devotees, and then by their association they will only get to that level by themselves associating with purer devotees than them, and then they'll introduce you, and so on like that. And then even if you're very sincere, and let's just say you're very sincere and I'm not that sincere, and so over time you associate with me expecting my mercy, and you're acting very sincerely trying to get Krishna's mercy, thinking I might help you, but I'm incapable of helping you. Let's say that's the case. Then Krishna will act and send you a pure devotee due to your sincerity. Ye yatamam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. As you surrender unto him, Ye yatamam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. He similarly bhajamyaham. He will worship you to the extent that you worship him, actually. So if you are very sincere in your worship of him, he will be very sincere also in reciprocal worship of you. He'll reciprocate with you. He'll also have bhajan towards you. So if you're very sincere towards worshiping the Lord, and you want to really meet his pure representative, and you're very, very faithful in your practices that you're offering to him, he will reciprocate. So we can know that. It's in the Shastra, it's in Bhagavad Gita there. So if you're a little worried, I can't recognize a pure devotee, I don't know who's pure, I don't know what's that. You know something, whatever you do know, you apply whatever knowledge is there, but you should also know that I also don't have the power to recognize. And so, Lord, I need your help, please. I'll act humble and I will act sincere, and I will offer everyone the proper respect they're due. We're going to talk about that on next Wednesday. How to properly respect all the different classes of devotees. And by following this, you will certainly come in contact with a pure devotee or purer devotees by doing these things. So is that helpful?
So basically, Krishna reveals a pure devotee to us if he wants to, if we are qualified enough.
Yes,
or
yes.
else we can just follow the purest form we can find.
Yeah, we should. That's all we can do. The purest devotee that with all of our intelligence that we can follow. That's all we can do. But if we are sincere, sincerity is the only eligibility. You don't have to have any type of qualification. You don't have to be a Brahmin. You don't have to. The pastime last night with the very austere Brahmin and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, "You think he can attain me by drinking milk?" Because all he did was drink milk, and he was very austere, and he followed all the rituals. And you think I can be attained only by drinking milk? No. These things aren't qualification. The only qualification is one's sincerity in wanting to know the Lord. One thing, there's a verse I will share. We only will probably do one Bhagavatam verse. But there's a verse I will share. It goes, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati Kriyatam Yadi Kutopi Labhyate Tatra Loyam Api Mulyang Ekalam Janma Janma Koti Sukriter Na Labhyate. So what that means is Krishna Bhakti Ras, or somebody who is tasting pure devotion to Krishna. Bhavita Mati. If you find such a person who is bhavita, totally absorbed in their mati, in their consciousness, in their intelligence, in their resolve. If you find such a person, kriyatam, you should immediately act. You should immediately purchase. Kriyatam yado yadi, if that's available, kutopi labhyate. Anywhere that's available, you should immediately go and obtain that. How? Tatra, in this regard, loyam, greed. All you have to do, the only qualification is greed. Oh, I want that. I want what that person has. I want that purity that they have. So, loyam api, even so, mulyang ekalam, this is the only price. The only price is greed. And then this is the one that hurts people who have a tendency to wanting to practice religiosity and dharma. So most Indians have this. What is it? Janma Koti, millions of births. Janma Koti Sukriter, of pious activities, but doing piety, dharmic activities. Na labhyate. It's not available like this. So you cannot get the association of a pure devotee, of someone in Krishna Bhakti Ras, just by practicing dharma. Doing the proper rituals, worshipping the demigods, respecting one's parents, doing all of these proper things. So they won't come that way. How will it come? What's the only price? Loyam, greed. You have to just want it. You have to see it, someone has it, and I want that thing. I'm going to go and immediately purchase it from them. How can I, and how do you purchase it? You serve them. Tadviri and Krishna.
Would that be greed or desire?
Yes, greed. How will you have greed without desire? Yes. That's why Krishna says kama, krodha, lobha. They all come together. So kama is the source. But if our desire is the source of all bad things in this material world, but it's also the source of all good things. So if you have good desires, you'll have all good things. So if you desire devotion to Krishna, and you are desire to associate with his pure devotees, guess what Krishna is going to give you? Association with those devotees. But if you don't desire that, and you desire many other things, he'll say, okay, fine. You can have this thing. But you have to go under the jurisdiction of karma. You have to work hard for this thing. But the devotees, they don't have to work hard. They get all the results of karma, they get all the results of jnana, knowledge, they get all the results of yoga, siddhi, mysticism, just by practicing bhakti, and they don't have to endeavor for those things at all. No endeavor necessary. You only have to endeavor in bhakti. So, anyhow. May we read Bhagavatam? Is it possible? Yes, okay. That's my original intention here. But this is very good. I am very appreciative of the questions, because this is how you learn, actually. One more thing, because you were saying, we're talking about greed. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidi pranipatena. So if you would like that understanding, then pranipatena, you must approach someone who has it. Pranipatena, very humbly. Pariprashnena sevaya, who with ask them relevant questions, like Divyanshu was asking nice questions. Unfortunately, you're only asking me these questions, but they're pure devotees than me, much purer, like my gurus, and you could talk to them and you'll get a much better result. Sevaya, and then rendering them service, which you're actually also rendering me personally lots of service here at the temple and organizing the programs and things like this. And if you do these things, if you're humble to them, you ask them relevant questions and you render them service, what is the result? Upadekshanti te jnanam, they will reveal that knowledge unto you. Jnaninas tattva darshana, because they're the holders of that knowledge and it's theirs to give. They see the truth and they can give the truth. But, they also, if somebody doesn't have the proper mood, they're not humble, they're not inquisitive, and they're not service-oriented, then naturally you'll just say, okay, I can't really help them in this state, so maybe I should just help them on first step one. How can I help humble them? How can I help them in their journey for humility? Or how can I just maybe show them humility and maybe they'll learn? But some of us, it takes many lifetimes to learn this thing. So anyway, don't worry. You just keep going as you're going, and if you have some greed for a pure devotee, to meet a pure devotee, that will come to you. But if you have greed for material things, then that will also come to you when the karma is just right and you've served your proper penance in karma. But devotees don't recommend doing karma. You just have this greed for bhakti, and then all the karma, all those things get taken care of actually naturally.
So what if in case of we don't have association on a daily basis? How to recite Bhagavatam and how to do Nityam Bhagavata Seva?
Yeah, well, so the main way Bhagavatam is imparted is through there's a relationship between the speaker and the hearer. So you would meet a pure devotee and they give you Bhagavatam. But in today's age, you would say, okay, well, I have to go back hundreds of miles away. I have no access to devotees. What to do? But online, you could still hear from that devotee. And the most important part is they have affection for you. They want to help you. They want to see you succeed. So you just stay connected to who you can, and maybe you can't always be with them. It's impossible. But you could just always be in a service mood to them, and you could always strive to hear from them. And even if you hear their lectures online, because they have that affection to you, Krishna will arrange that message will come through to you. So you stay connected to the devotees who are who have affection for you and are helping you, and then it's easy actually. So and everything now online with online it's very easy. Because many devotees, they're always willing to share. They'll put themselves in a space online to share and help. Because that's what their gurus want from them, and they get empowered by following their guru's order to share. And so then they will also help you in that way. But the best way is to actually have a proper relationship. So you can't just listen to some person on YouTube who you have no relationship with, and yes, I'll get enlightened from this person. No, you have no relationship with the person. This spiritual wisdom comes through relationship. So that's very important, actually. So my gurus in my life, I listen to their lectures, but I was told even that because you have some relationship with me, the lectures will be potent upon you. But if you have no relationship and you haven't experienced any love from them, then eventually your mind will tell you to look at other things. And so yes.
How about like hearing multiple lectures online?
It's not that's so valuable. It will not be so valuable unless you have some relationship. Now, like for instance, you could say, I like to listen to Prabhupada. And I have no relationship with Prabhupada. I don't know him. He never spoke to me personally. I read his books. But if you have a relationship to somebody who's connected to Prabhupada, like say one of his disciples or something like that, and that person is instructing you to hear Prabhupada's lectures, then Prabhupada's lectures will become extremely valuable to you. So, because Prabhupada is not dead, he is alive, but he's just uppercut. We can't actually, with material senses, understand him. But if through the Bhakti Shakti given through if you're connected to him in Guru Parampara, then Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta and all of our acharyas will help you in reading any of their works or anything. If it's empowered by the mercy of Guru and the devotees, then it'll be perfect. But if the devotees, if you're chain, they give you an instruction and be like, well, I want to listen to this, this, and this, and this, because that empowerment is not there, and you have what's called you have like an independent nature, a swatantra nature, then the bhakti does not come that way. The bhakti comes when we are completely dependent. Bhakti itself only is when our desire is only pure bhakti, anyabhilashita shunyam. There's no material desire at all. Shunya, free of material desire. And what is it? Anukulyana Krishna Anushilam, where you only want to perform favorable activities to Krishna. Meaning, but you can't just serve Krishna, because we don't know Krishna. So how do we do that? We only want to perform favorable activities unto Krishna's representative, who does know how to serve Krishna. So until you only are acting purely for the service, the favorable service of Krishna's pure devotee, that's the only thing that will actually be bhakti. Otherwise, everything else is mixed with karma and jnana and all these things. So if you really want to practice bhakti, which if you study the scriptures, everybody should want to practice bhakti. But it's the rarest thing. It's not so easy. So you will have to find Krishna's purest representative in your life and serve that person and only act for their pleasure. But you should understand that, it's not just, you can't I met Ramdas and Sita for Mantra Central, so now I'll devote my life to serving them and I'll get perfection. And that's good enough. No, because we're not giving diksha, we're not doing... If we are really sincere, we'll connect you to someone you can serve, and a bona fide guru, a pure devotee, and that pure devotee, by service to them, they will empower you and actually to practice bhakti, to achieve bhakti. And only by working, because they themselves are pure and they have no mixture in their own dealings. So all of their dealings, they're only working to purely serve their guru and only working to purely serve Krishna. So if that's the case, and not all of those in a guru position that's not the case. It's very rare to have a pure devotee. But if you can somehow serve that pure devotee, then because they're only serving pure devotees, their guru and so on, and that will go right up to Krishna, and that's bhakti. So that's how you can connect to bhakti. So but until you can meet a pure devotee, you serve the purest devotees that you can, and hear from the purest devotees you can, and then when you get to meet a pure devotee, then everything will be magical. But until then, we just serve the purest we can find and muster. And we be sincere in prayer to Krishna. Please help connect me. I want to be connected to you. And if you really want to be connected to him, he'll send his connection. He'll send you the little piece of the wiring, the connecting port, so that you can fit in perfectly. But you have to desire first and strive. Like Mother Yashoda, she wanted to conquer Krishna, so she was binding him in like this. But you cannot conquer Krishna with your own endeavor alone. So then, at some point, Krishna had to give his mercy. That's the only way he can be conquered. So you just make endeavors towards Krishna, as much endeavor as you can, as much sincerity as you can, and then Krishna, finally, he will see all, oh my, look, she's sweating, she's doing so much endeavor, okay. You've got me, you conquered me. And then he'll send the pure devotee to you. Okay? Makes sense? Okay. Can we read Bhagavatam? Is it possible today?
Yes.
Okay, we'll try. One verse at least. Okay. We did all the pranam mantras for Bhagavatam, so we should at least do one verse. So, it's a long purport. Oh my goodness. Ready? Atrir Vashishtash Chavana Sharadvan Arishtanemir Brigur Angirascha Parasharogadi Sutotharama Utatya Indra Pramaded Mavaho Pramaded Mavaho Medati Tirdevala Arshtisheno Bharad Vajogotama Pipaladaha Maitreya Orva Kavasha Kumbhayonir Dvaipayano Bhagavanaradascha. Okay, so every single one of those, from Atri to Narada at the end, are all names of the different saintly personalities who arrived there from different parts of the universe. That's what it says here. And Cha means as well, also, and. So these are all the great sages who came. Parth, only you were here. Did you guys do any Bhagavatam classes with me before I left?
Once.
Maybe once. Okay, so you're not so much. But Parth, you remember where we are in the Bhagavatam. Maharaj Parikshit he got cursed, and now he's actually sitting down to prepare for his death. And so he gathered at the bank of the Ganga. Prabhupada was saying, actually, it was the Yamuna. But, the Shastra is pointing that bank of the Ganga, and he is preparing to set himself to completely devote himself. Why? Now look, you see the same exact thing, same question. Maharaj Parikshit's in a problem, and he doesn't know what to do, and he's gonna die, but he's like, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm gonna fast to death, and I'm going to devote myself to Krishna, and I'm going to hear from the most saintly personality I can find. So what ends up happening? He sits down and fasts to death, and he's, focusing his consciousness, and then all the sages, they come. And so, Maharaj Parikshit is seeing all the sages. And then all of a sudden, because he's sincere, Krishna sends Shukadev Goswami. And then when Shukadev Goswami comes, he said, oh my God, everyone stands up, and they're just, can't even believe such a personality could come in like this. Such a pure personality. And then he inquires from that personality. He's humble before him, he gives him a seat. He's still ruler of the world, but he gives him respect, and then he asks him questions. And those questions constitute the whole Bhagavatam and constitute how he gets delivered and how we all get delivered too. So this is the process. He sat down and practiced bhajan the best way he knew how. I'm going to fast to death and focus my mind only on Krishna, and look who Krishna sends. All the sages, and then the enlightened sage Shukadev Goswami. So this is what you have to do. Not fast to death, but you have some connection to some devotees, and you come and you serve with them to the best of your endeavor, and then just by that Krishna will send. You'll send the right formula for you to receive your enlightenment. And look at Shastrik. This is how Maharaj Parikshit, Arjuna had Krishna himself come in. So he comes to the sincere. Yayatamam prapanya tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. As you, as they worship me, I worship them. So, as you worship Krishna, He will worship you. He'll send you that sincere thing. But if you have all kinds of material considerations, then Krishna will put all kinds of material obstacles in your life. But if you have no material considerations and you're purely trying to serve Krishna and His devotees, then He'll have no need for material obstacles in your life to check you, and then He will give you all facility. So like that. So anyway, at that time, all the great... this is the last verse. At that time, all the great minds and thinkers, accompanied by their disciples and sages, who could verily sanctify a place of pilgrimage just by their presence, arrived there on the plea of making a pilgrim's journey. So actually, many times we want to go on pilgrimage and go to holy places and temples and things like this. But Krishna actually says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the later part of the 10th canto, when all the sages gather at Kurukshetra, when him and all the Dwarkavasis and all the Vrajvasis and all the Hastinapur Vasis, everyone gathered there on the pretext of a solar eclipse. So in that gathering, when the sages all arrived, Krishna actually said, "How fortunate we are that you've all arrived here." Because those people who go to places of pilgrimage, who they go to temples, and they go only to take bath or to worship, but not to associate with the saintly personalities, are no better than cows and asses. So actually, if you go to India, most people are under this, they go, oh, Banki Bihari, they're looking to just go to the temple, take darshan, something like this. Many people here, they come here, I just want to take darshan. We have some nice Bhagavatam class we're giving, they don't care about the Bhagavatam. I'm here for darshan. Krishna says they're no better than an animal consciousness. So, yes. So, Aviram, I'm sure everyone else online is appreciating.
Nothing on the camera.
There's nothing on the camera. That's funny. So, but yeah, so what we need to do, these type of personalities, just by their presence, they make the holy place a holy place, actually. So when you go to a holy place, or you go to a temple, you should always try the main goal. What saintly personality? Who's the mahant of this temple? Who's the most saintly person in this holy place? And you should go and try to hear. Like even in Vrindavan, I spent the least amount of time traveling that I ever have in going to the holy places. Even though we didn't, in Navadvip we went everywhere. I did a lot of traveling in Navadvip. That was part of the parikrama. But in Vrindavan, we were just studying. But I was completely satisfied because I was associating with saints. And the teachers of those saints even, I was seeing, wow. It was very, very nice. So, this is what you should be done. So we see here, it's said here, that these sages they sanctify a place of pilgrimage. They make the holy places holy. It's the association of the sages that make the holy places holy. And of course, usually the Lord himself has appeared. That's also what happens. But, so this is what you should do. That's very important. And then these are all the sages. From the different parts of the universe, there arrived great sages like Atri, Chavan, Sharadvan, Arishtanemi, Brigu, Vashishta, Parashara, Vishwamitra, Angira, Parashuram, Uthathya, Indra Pramada, Id Mavahu, Medhatithi, Devala, Arshtishena, Bharadvaj, Gotama, Pipalada, Maitreya, Orva, Kavasha, Kumbhayoni, Dvaipayana, and the great personality Narada. So now, what Prabhupada is going to do is he's going to, all of the sages that he didn't mention before, and he mentioned some of them before, he's going to start giving a little biography of them. Like, we'll do a few. Chavana, a great sage and one of the sons of Bhrigu Muni. He was born prematurely when his pregnant mother was kidnapped. Chavana is one of the 6 sons of his father, Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu, when Brahmaji was performing a great sacrifice on behalf of Varuna, Maharishi Bhrigu was born from the sacrificial fire. He was a great sage and his very dear wife was Paloma. He could travel in space like Durvasa, Narada, and others, and he used to visit all the planets of the universe. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, he tried to stop the battle. Sometimes he instructed Bharadwaj Muni about astronomical evolution, and he is the author of the great Bhrigu Samhita, the great astrological calculation. He explained how air, fire, water, and earth are generated from ether. He explained how the air in the stomach works and regulates the intestines. As a great philosopher, he logically established. So he's also explaining air. This is like Ayurveda, how all the different elements and doshas work and things like that. He explained how the air in the stomach works and regulates the intestines. As a great philosopher, he logically established the eternity of the living entity. It's from the Mahabharata. He was also a great anthropologist, and the theory of evolution was long ago explained by him. He was a scientific propounder of the four divisions and orders of human society known as Varnashram institution. He converted the Kshatriya king Vitahabhya into a Brahmin. Vashishta was already explained in a previous chapter. Also about Bhrigu, there's a really, really wonderful passage I mentioned in the Bhagavatam, where he actually, he went in investigating of all the Trimurtis, who is the greatest. And the conclusion was Vishnu was the greatest, by how he acted in such a way towards each Trimurti, and Brahma and Shiva got angry at him. But Vishnu did not get angry and only wanted to serve him. And then Bhrigu, he went and insulted each one of them in a very unique way. He tried to poke them in such a way that they would get upset. But Vishnu was the only one who did not get upset and actually wanted to serve him, even after he kicked him in the chest. And actually to this day, Vishnu still has the footprint of Bhrigu upon his chest. So there's a nice pastime in the Bhagavatam. And that actually puts Vishnu at the top. This is Bhrigu's conclusion from trying to test all of the Trimurtis. So this.
He was also cursed by Lakshmi Mataji when he put on
Was
his.
that Raghu Rishi or Angira Rishi?
He may have been cursed by Lakshmi,
Yes.
but not Vishnu.
Not Vishnu.
Also, he was
I think it was
when he upset Shiva, when he upset Parvati. Did he end it?
No, he tried. He sent a request to bring them on video.
No. Don't do that.
Collaboration.
So Abhiram, enough is enough. All right, let's do Parashara. Parashara, he is the grandson of Vashishta Muni and the father of Vyasadeva. He is the son of Maharishi Shakti, and his mother's name was Adrishyati. He was in the womb of his mother when she was only 12 years old. And from within the womb of his mother he learned the Vedas. His father was killed by a demon, Kalmashapada, and to avenge this he wanted to annihilate the whole world. He was restrained, however, by his grandfather Vashishta. He then performed a Rakshasa killing yagya. Rakshasas are man-eaters. Actually, we were talking last night that Prabhupada also mentioned other places in the Bhagavatam in earlier chapters that the world is actually run by Rakshasas. And it's very interesting now, everyone, I don't recommend you go so deep into this, but in these new Epstein files that are all over the news, they're actually finding that a lot of these prominent personalities are cannibals, meaning Rakshasas. They eat other people. It's very disgusting, but it's very interesting to see these personalities are mentioned, and then also even our saints like Prabhupada, they said this 50 years ago, that the world is being actually run currently by Rakshasas in Kali Yuga. And now, just recently, it was proved. It's very, very interesting. So anyhow, so he performed a Rakshasa killing yagya. But Maharishi Pulastya restrained him. He begot Vyasadeva, being attracted by Satyavati, who was to become the wife of Maharaj Shantanu. By the blessings of Parashara, Satyavati became fragrant for miles. Wow. So he was present also during the time of Bhishma's death. He was spiritual master of Maharaj Janak and a great devotee of Lord Shiva. He is the author of many Vedic scriptures and sociological directions. So Parashara, he's also he has the Ayurveda, astrological shastras as well. But he has a nice pastime in the Mahabharata how he became the father of Vyasadeva. And Satyavati, who he impregnated, she would later become a great personality responsible for the whole Mahabharata because she mothered all of the progeny.
She mothered Dhritarashtra.
Yes,
Satyavati was the
she
one who
was the mother of Dhritarashtra. Are you sure? No, that's Ambika, Amba, and
Oh, no, sorry.
she mothers
She was the
Vichitravirya.
grandmother
Yes,
Dhritarashtra.
yes, she was the grandmother of
She wanted the
Dhritarashtra.
kingdom and Maharaj
Yeah.
Shantanu wanted Bhishma Devrata
Yes.
at that time wanted to
Yes.
have the kingdom, but she married.
Yes, she's the mother of Bhishma.
No.
Not Bhishma. No, that's
Bhishma
right.
is the son of Ganga.
Ganga.
Ah,
He's the
that's
mother.
right. That's right.
But
Yes.
Ganga couldn't have a kingdom or something. But when he came of age, Devrat, who's known as Bhishma,
Yes.
Maharaj Shantanu wanted to give him the kingdom, but
Yes.
But his wife didn't want
the
that.
wife Satyavati said
Yes.
then my children would have to be das of Devrat if I'm your queen and my children should be the one who
Then
who
Bhishma
should
took
get the
Pratigya
kingdom.
that I will
Ah.
never be the king. I'll
Ah.
only serve the king.
Then she basically said to Maharaj Shantanu that you have to choose either you give Bhishma the kingdom or you'll have to leave me. So he was sad and all, and then
That's why
Bhishma.
to Bhishma, for him to take out of
That's
that
when he took
decision.
Okay.
the pratigya that I will never ever sit on the throne. I'll just be a servant of the
Yes,
throne.
this terrible vrat which gave him the name Bhishma.
Yeah.
So this is a very good. I listened to the Mahabharata some years back, but now it's so fuzzy, all these little intricacies. So yes, this is very nice. But Parashara, he's a great personality, and he's instrumental in fathering Vyasadeva through Satyavati, and she ultimately is one of the instruments in creating all of the dramas of the Mahabharata. So that's very nice. Maybe we'll do one more. Gadi Sutta or Vishwamitra. He's a great sage of austerity and mystic power. He is famous as Gadi Sutta because his father was Gadi, a powerful king of the province Kanyakubja, part of Uttar Pradesh. Although he was a Kshatriya by birth, he became a Brahmana in the very same body by the power of his spiritual achievements. So this is proof. It's not, caste is not by birth, but it's by qualification. He picked a quarrel with Vasishtha Muni when he was a Kshatriya king and performed a great sacrifice in cooperation with Manganga Muni, and thus was able to vanquish the sons of Vasishtha. He became a great yogi, and yet he failed to check his senses, and thus he was obliged to become the father of Shakuntala, the beauty queen of world history. Once when he was a Kshatriya king, he visited the hermitage of Vasishtha Muni, and he was given a royal reception. Vishwamitra wanted from Vasishtha a cow named Nandini, and the Muni refused to deliver it. Vishwamitra stole the cow, and thus there was a quarrel between... It was like a wish-fulfilling cow. It's like a Kamadhenu. Yeah. And the Muni refused to deliver it. Vishwamitra stole the cow, and thus there was a quarrel between the sage and the king. Vishwamitra was defeated by the spiritual strength of Vasishtha, and thus the king decided to become a Brahmin. Before becoming a Brahmin, he underwent severe austerity on the bank of the Kaushik, and he was also one who tried to stop the Kurukshetra war. So these are just some things about Vishwamitra. He
was the one who
took Lord Ram and Lakshmana, and yes. So, and Vasishtha was the actual guru of them. So they have all these sometimes personalities, they quarrel. And this is how they all became in their positions. So let me see, is there much more? Let's end here. And we'll continue on Monday. Deepthi will be here, Parth, and everyone will be here Monday. So we'll just continue on Monday. Tomorrow we'll have some Sunday program. I'll present something. And then, yes. And then we'll carry on like this. And then maybe for Wednesday and Sunday, we'll see if any of the other devotees want to give class and things like that. So, Grantharaj, Srimad, Bhagavatam, Ki Jai, Nantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Thank you for giving some time to this. Oh, it's also Ekadashi. Today's Ekadashi. So, as much spiritual activity as possible, you need to do today. And as little material activity as possible, you should do today. And so many blessings come on this Ekadashi day, especially if you have developed some desire towards, connecting with Nitai, via the Guru and the devotees who can help you, you should do your austerities for that, your services, whatever you can. You should try to maximize them today, and then you will achieve everything that you're desiring. Akadashi she's the mother of devotion. So just by observing Akadashi, you will get devotion. This is one of the very favorable things you can do. So please observe to the best of your ability and strength. And if you get devotion, remember you get all the other things you want anyway. The results of karma, the results of jnana, the results of yoga. You'll get all those things anyway. You don't have to even endeavor for them. So chase devotion. Develop some greed for this Krishna Bhakti Ras. This taste for Krishna Bhakti. And those who have it. So anyhow. Haribol.